Borderlands, the pre-sequel, but I call it the prequel. Um, if you saw the last video, I was getting my ass handed to me. There was a few times that I got like probably halfway or a large portion of the health down. In this video, like about a few minutes ago, I got to like a 25% left of the person's ship's health left. That was so close. I did level up twice since that last video, because I didn't want to keep on recording me losing and losing and losing, which I don't know if that's gonna happen this time around or not. But like I said, like I'm taking a break right now, so this is gonna be one of the videos that I do probably a lot of talking in the beginning. It's just, oh my god, this one boss is so frustrating. Like I had some problems with Colonel Zarpedon both times, but you know, I think the game glitched out with the health bar, so it wasn't always regenerated 100% back to what it was. So as long as there was somebody fighting, that health that I took down is still, able to be taken out. I did remix up my weapons. I still got the pistol that shoots out electricity, so it takes down more armor, which happens to be the most powerful gun that I've seen as of late that does damage to the ship. The shotgun does pretty good damage when I'm flying over it when it's trying to do a ground sweep. I've learned in this game the best thing to do is to hit those jump pads continuously. Unless he's staying above and he ain't shooting off rockets and you got time to, nail off those people on the floor. But 9 times out of 10, it's best just to keep on bouncing from pad to pad to pad, left to right, left to right, left to right. I know it's going to be boring as hell, but that's one of the best methods that I have seen and I have done so far. You do more damage when when the ship's trying to go and shoot the bottom and do that curve shot all the way around at the bottom. You do more damage shooting from the top. Meaning if you're using the jump pads back and forth and you're timing it just right, you can literally do a lot of damage taking off the health, like criticals and shit. It has been a struggle to get to this point. I'm not even going to lie and say that it hasn't been, because it extremely has been a struggle to get to this point. I don't condone smoking cigarettes. It was one of the most disgusting habits that I've ever picked up, but that's what I'm doing right now. So when you hear me take a small interval or like a 2-second break from when I'm talking, it's to smoke a cigarette. For those that are thinking about ever smoking something or being pressured into it, if you're going to do anything, just vape. I mean, it's got nicotine in it, but it's a whole lot of less of nicotine than what cigarettes has. Like I said, I've been having fun doing this walkthrough. It's been a kind of, there was one guy named Siraj. He hit me up during one of the videos that I do, and I think I was like 5 or 4 he hit me up. Or it might even be 7. I don't know. It's one of those weird numbers, odd numbers. But he showed some support, and he was happy that someone was playing the pre-sequel to Borderlands. I mean, doing a video of it practically. So I'm always down for getting messages like that and showing any kind of support. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do Borderlands 2. If not directly after this, that at some point I will be doing Borderlands 2. And I know these are older games, they've been out for a long time. It's just something that I want to do. Like I had it in my head if I was going to do a podcast for gaming and doing walkthroughs, that I was literally going to, if I was going to have a YouTube channel that was doing walkthroughs, not a podcast, sorry. If I was going to have a YouTube channel, so I was going to do walkthroughs, this is one of the games that I had in my head that I wanted to do, because Borderlands has been around in my life since I was playing Xbox 360 on the first one and the second Borderlands. So, I always thought, yeah, that's going to be a cool ass video. People love Borderlands. And I didn't know that 2K had a branch off from 2K Sports to 2K Australia. I didn't know that they had a branch off. That's pretty cool. And I've noticed in this game there's always mate being said, and there's always implements of that Australian accent or Australian dialect, and I love that. That's awesome. Um, but like I said, the game is well made. I mean, yeah, with any game you're gonna have things you don't like about it, but shit, I really don't care about that. You know, this game has been one of the games that's been around since when I was in high school and shit. My ending of my senior year. So not this particular game, but Borderlands in general. So I think I got into Borderlands. Yeah, I'm having coffee too, so my apologies if you hear me sipping on something. I think one of my favorite. No, when I was playing Borderlands, I was playing my other favorite game, um, and that was Wet. I always thought they should remaster that for the PS4, and they might have, you know. But Borderlands was just one of those games that I got into, and it was during the time I was playing Wet. So, in Wet, if anybody knows about 360, Wet was one of the most badass games for its time, because it had like a mixture of Kill Bill, it had slow time, it had a samurai. It was a badass game. I loved it. I think, like I said in the previous videos, I think I said that I was going to do Outer Worlds, and that's going to be tonight. I'm going to start my first video this morning at noon. I mean midnight, because that's when I'm going to buy the game, and that's when I'm going to set everything up, wait for it to download and everything. So if people want to, see that kind of different side of me playing that game, you're more than welcome to join me. I always love support, and I love those followers. We broke the double digit for having viewers on one of my videos. That was number 11, so, or number 10, I mean. Guys, I appreciate it for the views and the support. That was awesome. I didn't even think it would get up to that. And, yeah, it was number 10. 10 got to 10 views. 11 didn't get no views, but that's because I kept dying all the time. Who wants to see that? So I totally get it. There's only been like 3 to like 4 videos that were not viewed, which is fine with me. But there has been a few other ones that people have been following, and I think the lowest amount of views we've had so far in a video, and I think that was in the first one, it was 3. That was the lowest we've had, next to 0. But I like that support. Oh, and I will be doing a Star Wars as soon as it comes out, because I'm pre-ordering it today. I will be doing videos of the Star Wars game, of that new Star Wars game coming out. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, so it's going to be badass. I know Rad Brad's been doing some coverage on that as well. He's probably going to have, a sneak peek and get the game before everybody else, but like I said, I'm a huge fan of Rad Brad. Like, there wouldn't be this YouTube channel if it wasn't for Rad Brad. So, if anybody talks or follows Rad Brad, message him that, Twisted Gaming, loves the fact what he's been doing since 2000, I think, 12 or 13. So, the guy's awesome. The guy's a badass gamer. He makes things seem so simple when he plays the game, but when you actually play the game yourself, it's like, man, this is actually difficult. So, shout out to Rad Brad for his dedication to still doing it. He's got 7 million like fucking followers, so I'm not gonna obviously get that high, but I'm trying to at least get like 1,000 followers or maybe a couple hundred followers. Shit, I would be happy with 50 followers, to be honest. But the goal is by the next few years to have like 1,000 followers and everything. That's my goal. To break that 1,000. I don't even have one yet, but it's just I'm really loving this game. I love doing walkthroughs, so it's gonna be a hell of a lot more walkthroughs. Breakpoint, I'm still gonna be doing that. I only got 1 or 2 videos of that posted so far, but there's gonna be a whole different selection on that. I was thinking about doing 2K20 for wrestling, but because I already have it and everything. But I'm like, I've already done majority of the game already of the storyline, so to go all the way back and try to do it the old-fashioned way would. It's just the game itself, I think, was rushed for 2K20. Even Danger, another good gaming person that I've been following, like for wrestling games and different other kind of games that that I've liked, I've gotten because of him and Rad Brad. So those two guys are awesome. So if you guys do, watch their videos, go ahead and watch them. They're badass. They know what they're doing. Danger has been playing with his in-ring name is Xavier Woods. He does up, up, down, down. So Danger's been, breaking that line, of just being a YouTube guy, but strictly, breaking that line and going further for online gaming events. So, I appreciate, what they've done, so shout out to them too. I was hoping Red Bread was going to do more for Outer Worlds. He only has 3 videos posted up. That's only because that he's doing so many games at the same time. I think he was talking about doing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, the newer one that just, released, and I think he's been doing that a lot. So I don't think he's going to be doing Outer Worlds until after that's completed, or he might still, I don't know. My cigarette is done. I just finished it. So I'm going to finish off with doing 2 more of a couple of words to share with you guys. Drink some coffee and get in it, because hopefully this will be the time that I beat him. At least this boss. People were talking about, they were telling me that I should do the side quests and everything, and I'm like, I usually do side quests, but I'm trying to just do the main campaign as a walkthrough, and I will die quite a hell of a lot more than I would like to, but I'm just trying to bring you guys the main storyline, versus doing the whole side quest things, Outer Worlds, I will be doing the side quests though, only because I've been waiting for that to drop for so long. So yeah, I will be doing walkthroughs for Outer Worlds starting tomorrow. I will be doing other ones, like I said, Star Wars. I will be doing one for, as well as Cyberpunk, because I've been a D&D fan since I was a kid because of my dad and my brother and some of my dad's friends that were into Dungeons and Dragons, and Cyberpunk was one of those D&D based kind of games. It wasn't the same thing, but it was practically like the same kind of format, tabletop. And I really got into that. So the fact that they finally are breaking down the barriers and bringing that on, I was like, whoa, awesome, badass. I will be doing a Dragon Age Inquisition walkthrough at some point. I don't know when I'm going to start that, but that will be started eventually. Because ever since I played it, I was like, I'm gonna break through. I'm gonna do one for this at some point. I just didn't have the funds or the right utensils or the right ways to go about it. Plus, I didn't start my YouTube channel at that time, so there's gonna be games that I'm gonna be doing. There's a hell of a lot more. So, people, if you want anything or want to give me some what's the word? Damn. If you want to give me some other kind of like, oh yeah, do this game or play this game, or try this game out, this might be around your alley, let me know, and I would love to do a walkthrough. So if you guys got any ideas or anything you want to throw at me for games, don't be hesitant, just shoot me a message or, shoot me whatever, and I'll definitely be on for that. But without further ado, let's get this and let's murder some fucking bandits, man. Let's end this game finally.
Fangs out!
You've got a great personality.
Sponsored by Hyperion.
Friggin' trouble.
Then again, and I'll kill you.
I got it.
Ammo? Anybody? I've had it up to here with Vault Hunters. You guys pound on him for a while.
You know who you remind me of? Myself.
Thanks out. Hoorah! I had it up to here with the Vault Hunters! Do that again and I'll kill you!
Ah!
Die! 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 I've got height on the enemy.
Let's get sexy! Grenade out! Got 25% more hands up.
I've got height on the enemy.
Stop your belly and drop the bomb.
Thanks out. Hoorah!
Haven't found anything good? My weapon machines will fix that for you. Check back later to see my new weapon of the day. I'm always happy to take your money. Lovely. May it keep you safe in your travels. May it help you kill many things. Pleasure doing business. Come back anytime.
Now, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'll get so fucking close, and then just out of nowhere, I'll start receiving damage from nobody that's even around me besides that ship, and I don't know what that ship's doing to get that kind of damage off on me, but, you know, it is what it is. Yes, I'm about to roll a cigarette and have a short smoke break. you know, but this is kind of what I've been dealing with, which is why I kind of waited and got leveled up a little bit before doing anything. I didn't, and people were like, go back and do some side quests. I'm like, I'm not gonna backtrack all the way to the beginning, do all the side quests that I missed, and then start up the video again and be like, oh yeah, I did all the side quests and everything. That's why it took so long. No, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm just gonna kill these bastards what little fast as I could or can, and then go from there. If I level up, which is what I've done, you know, then so be it. But I'm not gonna do all that. Go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. No, I'm not doing all that. And then one of the guys that I was talking to was like, well, that's what the side quests are there for, for you to do them. And I'm like, yeah, for me to do them if I choose to do them, you know, yeah. The game's a little bit harder than would anticipated at this moment. It's level 26. But if you go back to when I first got here, when I was level 20 or something, or 21, I think it was like 20, and then I was trying to take on the damage and shoot the ship. And the only thing that was doing most of the damage was my pistol. Now everything, like my assault rifle, does some damage. You know, the damage was a lot different being done in that first video, which is I think 11, than what it is now. Even 10, I think, 11 or 10. You know. So I was just telling my friend, like, I got this. It might take a little bit, but I got it. He's like, but that's just going to be a lot of you dying. I mean, don't you want to show them that you can't die? I'm like, no. Because any gamer that plays these games is going to die eventually at some point. That's just a part of the game, is to die, learn from your mistake, and go from there. I'm going to save probably my pistol ammo for the ending, so I'm not going to go through them so fast. Probably use the shotgun and the assault rifle more. And then have my pistol and my plasma, my energy weapon, be one of the weapons that I save for towards the end. Because the pistol does a lot of damage to enemies as well as the ship. But my focus should be on the ship when it comes to using that pistol. And people are like, well, my friends were like, why do you keep summoning those jacks, all the time? And I'm like, because when they do and kill enemies, and the longer they're there, I get my health back. So without the jacks, I probably would be dying a hell of a lot faster. So I'm glad I chose the jack character. Sorry, I was rolling this. I'm glad I'm using the Jack character versus any other character, because it could be twice as harder for me to be completing this mission if I wasn't using the Jack character. Because I think there's only two characters where you summon allies, and I think that's Wilhelm and Inject the Doppelganger. I think they're the only two that actually summon people to help you. I think for Wilhelm, he summons up those droids and everything, and Jack obviously has his doppelgangers, which do a lot of damage. And everybody was like, what are those badass ranks, when you keep getting, well, when you keep on doing those ranks, and you keep, oh, I completed when he says bleep blow, that takes care of a challenge. That's just letting you know that you're almost done with that whole entire badass rank set, because that's how you get those rank boosts. Those badass tokens. So you rank those up, and your weapons do more damage, or your shield capacity does more damage. And he was like, why is your gun damage so high, but your health and energy's, a little bit lower? I'm like, because doing gun damage and gun firing rate, those two are the ones that are going to save my ass in the middle of a firefight. I mean, my friend obviously plays Borderlands as well, but I have more of a gung-ho kind of Rambo, like going in there head first, shoot out everybody kind of like way of doing things, when he is more of the methodical, methodical way of approaching the situation. So I address games like when I was playing Tomb Raider, the 20-year edition, I would go in there either stealthy or all the way in. But I would always have a silencer. So if I did go in, I could take out a couple of fucking of those guys out pretty quickly without them even knowing that I was there because of the silencer. Like, there's certain games I go gung-ho to see what the difficulty is of, like, I test the game. Like, I test the difficulty of, like, being swarmed by people and everything. And people, you know, some of my friends have told me that's kind of like a wrong way to approach the game. I'm like, I think that's the more fun way to approach the game. Because then I'm testing the difficulty of the game itself by doing that. And as you guys have been watching me in these walkthroughs, I've done a few of those situations where going straight in gung-ho, and I've actually came out pretty, you know, maybe with low health, but I still came out, you know, undead. Oh yeah, and as to answer your guys' you know, at some points question, those things that pop out that are aliens, they only get worse and more apparent as you do more damage to the ship. Like, there's ones that start flying and shit because I'm bouncing from launch pad to launch pad to launch pad and doing it so sporadically that they start spawning these kind of aliens that fly and float and follow you and everything. And one of the times that I was doing this, just before I started up the video, I literally got to like little under a quarter of the ship's health. It was practically gone, and then he would have been dead. And they were just spawning sporadically out of nowhere. Every time he would spawn those soldiers in, bam, I would get those aliens along with those soldiers. So it was like being swamped, like badly swamped. But that's okay though, you know. That's just testing my gameplay. And people were like, "Well, you're 23 and the boss is 26." And I'm like, "Yeah, so?" He's like, "Don't you want to have it more equal where you're like 25 and he's 26?" And I'm like, "No, because if I can beat him at being 3 levels or 2 levels lower than him, most gamers can't do that because of the difficulty rating. So if I do that, it's like an accomplishment to myself. I'm a backwards gamer kind of way of thinking, you know, when it comes down to certain boss levels or certain games. Like, I don't do what everybody else does. Like, there was a game, Uncharted 4. When you were playing online, you were able to use that rope and swing and everything. And online, nobody was using that swing option when you were on the pirate ship or the ship area kind of map. And my homie was like, "Dude, don't do that." And I'm like, "I did it, and I got like 3 or 4 kills just by doing that one time." And he was like, "Damn, bro, I didn't even think you, man, you just keep on doing that." I'm like, "Nah, I just did it that one time, you know, to show you that when you tell me not to do something, I'm the type of person in a game, I'm gonna do that, just so to show you that it can be done." And I have some weird ass, crazy ass luck when it comes to doing shit like that. And I think the friend I'm talking about, I think he has a YouTube channel. I think his Rings of Saturn or something close to that. His name's Saturn. And, you know, I'm not going to say his real name, but that's what he goes by. It's his nickname. That's the name he prefers to be called. Because he has a Greek first name, and I've never known a mixed Latino to have that kind of name. So he's he's quite the character, but he's cool as fuck though. I'm never doing any Apex videos because you're just gonna see me die a shit ton. I mean, you're seeing me in these last 2 videos die a lot, you know, but it's not nearly as bad as Apex. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got some skills in Apex, but there's people on there that are just like, I'm like, wow. You know, one of my biggest dreams in doing this YouTube channel is to find a game kind of like Cyberpunk or an online game where people can bring their characters that they create together and to go on through missions, sort of like Breakpoint for Ghost Recon. But I wanted to do that with Rad Brad one time, you know, be in a game with Rad Brad and play with him and shit. And I think that would be like a major honor, you know. But that's just a dream I have, you know. But if I can do that at some point, dude, that would be one of my biggest, like, I'll be like, yeah, bro, I got to play with Rad Brad on this, dude. That'd be badass, you know. You know, and people are, some of my friends are like, you know, I got them into watching Rad Brad, and he's like, dude, he's a badass gamer, dude. He makes it look simple. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And Saturn, which is the guy I was talking about, me and him watch Rad Brad. He tells me all the time, dude, you make certain games look easy when you play them. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not that easy. He's like, I know. And he's like, I just don't understand how you and Rad Brad can make games look that easy. But it's not. And I'm like, it's just, you know, I've been playing video games since I was like 5 or 6. I think my very first game I started to play was on the Atari. And my stepmom, she had an Atari. And next to Game Boy, I had never played a console system. And I would think I was playing Pac-Man, Centipede, Millipede, Bomberman, the Jungle game. I think it was just called Escape the Jungle or just Jungle Escape. It was something like that. It was kind of like an Indiana Jones, like before Indiana Jones, you know, was made in the 80s, you know. And I don't know, it's just the way that whole... I love the feeling of playing of those games because it wasn't just playing the game. You had to be smart when you played it. Like for example, Frogger. There was a pattern. And even today, games might be becoming more complicated, but there's still a pattern. And just like now with this boss, I've been noticing the pattern. I mean, yeah, I'm going to die, obviously. Trial and error. You can't become a better gamer without dying. You can't just, oh, I'm going to beat this and I'm just going to go on through. I mean, even Rad Brad dies. Even though he's a great gamer himself, he dies too a few times. And I think that's what makes you a better gamer is by dying those times. And you learn from those mistakes that you made the first time. And you keep on playing. You know, so... I don't look at, I mean, yeah, dying to me does piss me off, but it's not nearly as bad as, you know, not necessarily dying. I just prefer to die a few times so I can learn and become a better gamer within that single game, or any other game. You know, there's been a few games that I've played that are just like seemingly impossible to, like, you know, get somewhere with like certain boss levels. Like I've purchased Derivative Ashes a few months ago and I've played a few rounds of it and I got to this one boss and I'm just stuck. And it's because of these little brain things running around. Like they remind me of like Vulplumes from or Blossoms from Pokemon, that when they, you know, shoot off those spores, it does damage. Well, when these things do it 3 or 2 times in a row, you're dead. And these things are attacking you when you gotta fight the boss, and it's just like, whoa. It's like almost impossible to beat that level. I know it's possible, but it just feels like it's impossible. So there's like certain bosses in certain games, I'm just like, whoa, dude, this is beyond me. Like, for example, I've talked about him a little bit today. Saturn, like there'll be certain games and certain levels that he cannot beat, and he'll just pass the controller to me, and I'll pass it within the first few times. But he'll be stuck on it for a few weeks, and there'll be certain games that I'll be playing and I'll be stuck, and then he'll be pick up the controller and then be like, bam, few tries, and he beats that level, and I'm like, we would both be sitting there like, damn, what the fuck, I couldn't do that, and you know, that's just how me and Saturn are. And me and Saturn, even though we haven't known each other for more than like 2 years, we're like always neck and neck when it comes to playing games. Like he only be a few fucking deaths ahead of me, or I'll be a few deaths ahead of him. You know, it's always neck and neck. Like if I'm a few levels ahead of him, or I'm a few levels behind him, or You know, it's always that we're neck and neck, and that's just how the game. Will we be playing Tekken or Soul Calibur, and like we'll both equally have a certain amount of matches that we've won, but it would always be neck and neck. It's never like, oh, I'm blowing you out. It's always neck and neck, and that's why I like playing games with him, because me and him are always like boom, boom, boom next to each other. Yeah, I know I've been talking a lot in this particular game, or this particular video, so I don't necessarily apologize, but again, I sort of kind of do, because I know you guys don't want to hear me talk the entire time. You want to see me play and see where the game goes beyond this boss. So I'm just taking my small little breaks, and then that's when I talk within it. And the cigarette's almost done anyways, but it's just, man, this particular boss has gotten me rubbed the wrong way. And it was crazy because I remember once in the video yesterday, right, video 10 I think, or video 11, the boss was one level and he jumped an extra level, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? He was just level 25. So I'm glad that he's at level that he's at now, because I'm thinking if I do level up one more time, if I can't beat him at 23, I think I will beat him at level 24. I do need to get me a better assault rifle, though. Something that has more of a kick to it. It does 142 damage right now, but still, I mean, if I had something that does a little bit more damage, I think I would be better off, but it is what it is. And the reason why I leave and I come back to the area is because if he's still there going around, he's going to be... everything's going to be discombobulated. It's going to be at that same level. And that just makes it a little bit worse. You know, some of my friends were telling me, why don't you bring some extra players in? And I'm like, I don't have any friends that play Borderlands pre-sequel or have the game, so... You know, it's like I can just like invite people to a party or anything, because I don't have that. You know, I do have other games where you know, I have sports games, but I'm not going to do a walkthrough for that because, you know, I like to enjoy that at a different level, and I just want to bring you more of the RPG style or first-person shooter style, or you know, something of that line, because those are the games I actually fully enjoy loving playing, or even third person that I would enjoy playing, you know, that way, because I like doing walkthroughs with those kinds of games versus just doing sport games, you know, because usually the storylines in that are so small and so short that it's like, you know, I want to do longer games, you know, because I enjoy doing longer games anyways. This is cigarettes. Only got a few more hits, and I'm gonna turn off the mic, and I'm gonna go right back into jumping into this war, because this is a war to defeat this boss. But eventually, I will beat him. It's just gonna take some time, and I just don't want to continuously do videos and videos where I keep dying, but, you know, it's like, whatever. I'll do a few videos where I just keep dying and dying. Because I want to bring you guys the video where I defeat this boss and then go into the next one. Because I don't know if this is the last boss or not. I'm pretty sure there's one more boss after this. Because there's still that one character in the beginning that I remember seeing that had that weird stopping the bullets and then saying, I think she's going to be in the vault. But again, I don't know because I haven't beaten the game, so this is all new to me. I think this is the furthest that I've gotten in this game, actually, because I've played it before and got to like level 12 or 13, but this is like the longest that I've played this. And I'm doing it for you guys, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys, like what you're seeing and, drop those follows or drop those like buttons. And I'm done with my cigarette, so let's get in it. Sorry for talking so much. But let's get this and let's finally beat this boss.
Warning, entering vacuum.
It's in our moments of decision that destiny is shaped.
If you see this face, run!
Something stars.
That's me.
suck.
Psychopaths are going down! You can't hide
Be true to yourself.
Boy, Jack!
Laser death.
I've had it up to here with vault hunters! Can't hide from me! I'm gonna make you! I dare ya! Bangs out! Hoorah! I've had it up to here with vault hunters!
I need backup! Jack here! Ah! Challenge. Jack here, the real one.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
You can't hide! I'm right on the enemy! Bastards!
One jack to another. Well done.
You're, special? Special delivery. I'm gonna blow your asses off this move.
My shield! You asshole! This was a new shirt!
Yeah! Die! 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 Special delivery.
Unbreaking heights!
I'm gonna blow your asses off this move.
Here with Vault Hunters!
Stop your bellyaching and love the bar.
I've had it up to here with Vault Hunters! Run! Hands up! I'm locked for kill!
Hey, I'm not dead. How about that?
Thanks out!
Are you ready for a missile massacre?
Give me another jack.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
If you see this face,
Expected so much more from you.
Let me know if anything catches your eye. Farewell, friend.
What do we got here?
Market Lord. Don't get killed. Let's just get this out of the way. Yes, most of my merchandise was ripped from the hands of dead adventurers. Don't die, I do business. Welcome, customer. Farewell, friend.
I see how you deal with lots of me.
I've had it up to here with false hunters. I'm gonna fix
easy.
You must be great. You're hanging out with me.
Laser attack.
Thanks out. I'm gonna make you bleed. Thanks out. Hoorah! I dare you. You psychopaths are going down! You can't hide from me!
Ready for a missile massacre.
I've had it up to here with you! I'll do that again and I'll kill you!
Not about enough. You guys pound on him for a while.
Jack here. A real one.
Your mission
He's a hero.
That's it.
I've had it up to here with false hunters! You can't hide from me!
You can do anything you set your mind to.
Special delivery.
Jack here. A real one.
Can't hide from me! Run again and I'll kill you! I've had it up to here with false hunters!
Jack here.
Psychopaths are going!
I'm gonna blow your asses off this road.
Thanks out! Hoorah!
Ready for a missile massacre.
One more time! I dare you! Psychopaths are going down! I'm gonna make you bleed!
Jack is.
Special delivery.
want to see in the world.
Here with you can't hide from me. Back in and I'll kill you.
Give me another jab.
I've got high on
Die! Die! Die!
psychopath.
I'm retreating! Cover fire! Now! Don't let up! I'm gonna blow your asses off this move!
Double the trouble.
Hey, player, you're really good at this game.
Can't hide from me.
You make me sad.
Welcome, customer. Tell your friend. Circus munitions. I'm sure we'll be doing this again soon enough. Check back. to see my new weapon of the day. Come again. A fantastic day for capitalism. Thanks for the scratch. Caveat emptor. A pleasure, 2 words, my friend. No evil.
Thanks out. Hoorah!
That's back, me. Back here. Real one.
Let's bring it here! Damn it!
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Forgive me, Colonel.
I thought you were better than that.